Hi everyone, it's Kathleen. I am here to put together my volume 2 for the first 6 months of Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. I am just creating these 2 books for now of the 6 months that we have been slow stitching these books. My first volume is done already, and I'm going to show you from start to finish how I did this for my volume 2. This is a very quick recap of this volume 1 because I have a detailed video further down on my playlist on how on this exact book. So my book, this is the completed one. So let's just have a very quick look. Mine is an open spine, hand-stitched open spine, various layers and embroidery stitches on old Aquatarian. There are old book covers with that marbled cover on it. And on the inside, the marbled covers are spectacular. They are original. I lucked out and found them at an antique store. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. I'm very fortunate. So I'm using these 2 for this particular journal. So I'm going to show you how to attach a fabric spine to a fabric interior spine, which I have sewn on my, or I will sew on my signatures to. So this book has 3 pieces of felt. This first piece of felt, black felt, is holding my Journal of Stitchery title page. A piece of crocheted or knitted lace. It's hard to tell on this, but it's a vintage piece I got at the antique store. Very old string, so maybe it's a form of crocheting or tatting or weaving with those bobbins. So embroidered piece, a doily. An embroidered piece, a doily. An embroidered piece, a doily. An embroidered piece, a doily, an embroidered piece, a doily, an embroidered piece, and a doily. So for the 3 pages, so 3 pieces of felt, that's 1 piece of felt, and we're going to show you how to do it here. This is my second piece of felt. This is my third piece of felt. And that large piece, and they are hand stitched onto this linen upholstery fabric and attached to create a book. My books will be sitting in my bookshelf like this, and they'll be laid one on top of the other, and then all sorts of knickknacks and stuff on the side. So I will see this beautiful embroidery work, and I'll see all these linens draping on my bookshelf. So that's how I plan to display them, sitting on top of each other so I can see all that beautiful work and lace. And I can take them out and look at them whenever I'd like to. So let's see, how do I go about doing something like this? And look, yes, my pages are irregular. That's okay. To me, it looks perfect. I love this thing. So let's move it right out of the side. Right out of the way. Oh, that's fine. Sorry, I've got a lot of things here in my craft room. So this is what I'm going to make my book out of. At the very beginning, 6 months ago, I gathered up, I like working with wool. I live in Canada. I order my wool from elsewhere. There's actually only one place that I know of in Canada to get wool from. There's probably more, but I only know of one place. I'm going to show you how I stitch this, my outside fancy cover. This is just something I have done in the past. So you'll watch me. I just love to feel stuff. The texture of the stitches and the pearl cotton is so soft. So I'm going to do some kind of needlework like that on this piece. And this is a layered piece of fabric. So when it's all, I'm going to show you how it's all combined, and then we will construct it or deconstruct it to create the journal. So this is the spine piece, the decorative spine piece. This is the inner spine piece that will be glued on. I'll give you measurements in a minute. These are my book covers, like this. And I'm going to allow quite a bit of room. So I don't even know how much this is. Get my ruler. And I'm just guessing here how wide this is. About 2 inches. So about 2 inches in for a spine. So let's see how we are going to put this together. These pages are way too long. When I cut my felt, I knew that they would be too long. I didn't know how wide my spine was going to be, or my pages. I know I wanted them to fit in this book. And this book, maybe I should just get out one of my mats so I can just lay it down for measuring purposes. My book covers, whatever sizes your pages are, you can make them fit in any book cover. This is 5 inches. Let me move this so we can see the bottom. 5 inches wide by 7.5 inches tall. These covers. And I know that these are way too long. And they will be actually sitting like this. I'm going to have to trim off some of these pages because it's just crazy. Let's start with one of these pieces. So they're the same height as my cover. Same height as my cover. And let's attach this first page. So where I have 1, 2, 3. So what do I have? So I have a piece of lint. Oh, is that the back? Sorry, I'm just kind of referring to this one here. So how many embroidery pieces do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 embroidered pieces, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doilies. So 6 and 6. So let's see, let's make my piles here. I have this 1, 2, 3. Or maybe I have to gather more of those guys up. I only have 3 of these guys. 1, 2, 3. 3. And I said I needed 6. And these aren't finished. I'm done with this book. I just want to put it together and I want to move on. So I have, maybe because I turned 60 this year, I've realized I have so much stuff and not anything finished. I want to finish stuff. I'm selecting the items I want to finish. I love how I did this, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to be doing stitching, and I just love stitching. I want to continue to stitch, and I'm having a stitching itch, I guess. 6, I needed one of these. I went off on a tangent. 1. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so I have 6 embroidered pieces, and looks like I only have 3 here. So off camera, I'm going to select more of these to put in my book. So how are we going to do this? Let's just, this, I make it the width, I make the felt the width of my book, fold it in half, is just like that. So let's see if my pages will fit on here. They're going to extend a little bit. The other one, I made sure that it fit. Do I want to trim some of this off to fit on here? Let's just use this as a sample. And you have me in real time. What is she actually going to do to get her pages to fit? So this is, I made my pieces, my embroidered pieces are a little bit larger than my book cover, only because I knew I could cut them off, and I'm going to trim them down. So this one I can trim down. This one here is a little wonky, and we're going to leave him. 1, 2, 3. This is really nice and big. I'm going to have this big one at the very end because of all that lace. I want to see that lace. 4 and 5. So let's just start cutting and putting this on here. So where are my fabric scissors? Measure this on top. Okay, I know I have at least that much. Let's just trim it on that pencil line that I have drawn for myself. I'm going to cut this. I'm not going to tear it because I don't know if it's on a bias or whether it's straight. I love the frayed edges. Okay, so let's just check this. So I'm just taking my book cover and seeing. Okay, so I can trim off a little bit. This has some lines on it. I'm just going to trim off a small bit to fit on my book cover. Let's see, is that a little bit wider there? Okay, it looks like I can, let's just trim him off just a bit. And this guy looks a little wonky here, so let's just trim him off a bit. Let's see how I did for measuring. Good on that side. Good on that side. Around here it just needs to be trimmed a little bit. So trim it so it fits nicely. I'm going to leave that side there, and I'm going to trim on this line, and then we'll see, because I laid my book cover on top of my, this is old vintage linen, before I stitch. So let's just see, is that going to fit? It's a little bit wider, so that is good, and that's needs to be trimmed off a little bit on this end. So here, I'm going to trim it off even a little bit more. I'm not scared to cut into my fabric because I'm just going to be tacking it on top of the, oh, I like that. That's perfect. So that fits nicely. And let's attach this first one down. In this case, because my white fabric covers the black, I'm going to make sure that the white covers the black here. So I'm just going to go right to the edge, like that. And I'm using my pins elsewhere because I'm working on a hand stitching project. And just going to be stitching this, sorry, I'm just using pins to tack this in place for now. Okay, that side is held on. Let's lay this flat. Let's put one on this side, one on that side. Okay, and that's where I wanted. The next page is this one, which, okay, this guy's a little wonky. That's fine. We are going to cut this one. Where's my book cover? My book cover is 5 inches. So am I at 5 inches here? Let's cut this at 5 inches. So 5 and 5. Okay, so that's 5 inches. And you can see that I'm just guessing here, 5 and 5. And would that be 10? Ouch, let's measure. Okay, it's just a hair more than 10. That's 10. Let's see where that is. That's exactly 10. Oh yes, let's just do exactly 10. And I'm going to fold it back, and I'm just going to cut. Okay, so this is extra. I'm putting that aside. I don't need that one. So this first page is going to sit in my book like that. Open it up. And the next page is going to here I have to line it up with my grid. Okay, my grid, line that up, 10 inches, perfect. I'm looking along the bottom to make, because this piece of felt is a little warped, which is okay, but I just got to know that and work with it. So it's going to lay like this. And I work on my grid mat so I can see, I'm just eyeballing it, how it goes up. More pins. This guy's going to go here. So my stitch play project that I'm going to be working on, I want to work on wool. I want to do the wool circles. I've purchased Sue Spargo's 90 circles, toned down circles. And of course, I can't show you how to do those circles because it's a paid pattern, but I can show you stitches. I can show you how I do a feather stitch. I can show you how I do a woven picot. I can show you how I do an oyster stitch. So stitches have been around for hundreds of years at least, and it's perfectly fine to show stitches. Of course, not patterns that anyone else has developed. These are things that I've just made up on my own. People do mandalas or other type of stitching on circles, or I like to practice on circles. I love the wool on wool, and I love the layering and the meandering of stitches. So that's what I'm going to be doing in my future stitch plays, individual stitches on a circle. So let's see. That's that page, and that page will sit in here. On the inside, let's grab this thing. Where's my other cover? My cover is this. Okay, so if I lay this down, I know I have a 2-inch spine, and this will just sit in here somewhere like this. And it's just sitting here for now. I'm leaving a 2-inch gap. Looks like 2 inches, and it would center this somewhere like that. Maybe I might have to cut this off. I'm not sure yet, but let's lay this first. If I'm having, what did I say, 3 signatures? So let's place them on, let's find the half of this. The half on my 2 inches is right. So 1 3/4, 1 3/4. Okay, so I just moved that. Put my bunny rabbit for weight. Put my, where's my bunny rabbit? I know he's hiding somewhere. Here he is. Bunny rabbit. Bunny rabbit and bunny rabbit. 2 inches spine. The center. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. Okay, so about here. Okay, there's no reason, oh, I was going to say, there's no reason why I can't glue that down. Sure, why not? I'm going to go for it. Why not, she says. Why not? Okay, so I'm going to fold this and, oh, how do I know where to put this? How much do I have in here? Okay, it does look like that. And I saw my pencil mark on there. That's fine. Let's draw some pencil lines. So my half. Oh, in case you're wondering how big this piece of fabric is, let me mark my half. Okay, let's measure it for you. It is 7 inches across by 4, 7 by 4 inches. I've put the half mark, and I'm going to draw my line, my stitching line. Is that half? Yeah, it does. My fabric's a little wonky. So let's lay this down again. Do this again. 1 3/4. 1 3/4, and it's on my center. And I'm feeling the ridge of the book. And I'm feeling the ridge of the book. And I see this I have 1 inch here, so let's just go I'm just going to follow that line. Follow that 1/2 inch and draw a line. That other 1/2 inch, another 1/2 inch. Okay, those are my stitching lines. I'll be stitching on line 1, line 2, line 3 for each of the 3 pages. So I can, whoa, I did undo this. Where's my cloth? Wipe my book. This is tacky glue. I use tacky glue for fabric. It's going on here. And let's, where's my, okay. I line my ruler up because it's easier for me to put glue on a hard surface than it is on fabric. So I know this is at 1 3/4 inches, and I'm just going to go in line 1 3/4 inches. So now I'm just going to be putting my tacky glue. This stuff holds really well. I rifle through my books. I'm hard on my books. I'm touching and feeling my fabric. I just love how the texture feels. So this does hold really well. And yes, I'm going to be sewing my signatures into the book. Take off that little fluff, and just, you saw I just flopped it down, and I'm patting it. It sets really quickly. This didn't have to be that long. Why did I cut it this long? I have no idea. Maybe these were just scraps that I had. It's hard to say, but what do I want to do here? I want to make sure that this is here. Flip this over, and we're going to do the same thing. One 1 3/4 up. I've been very busy helping my mom moved from a condo to a house, and she's now 8 minutes away from me. She's living by herself. She is 82, and she's does require a little bit of assistance, so she's that's where my time is being spent, not in my craft room, because that's what daughters do. And let's have a look. So this is done. Our first page, this center of the signature will line up on this line once it's sewed in. Placing down my next, where is this here? Okay, this is another piece. I'm just going to lay this piece. Let's compare it to the book cover. Okay, let's get this piece. So if this was what? How high is this? 7.5 by 10, I said. So let's measure 10. Place it down like this and see if my page will fit. This page will fit nice. It's actually going to be a little bit smaller. So let's see what this next page is, because I might be able to scoot to move my black felt over. You see what I mean? The next page is here, and I want my felt to go right up to this. So where's my 10-inch? Okay, I have to measure this again because I moved my hand. Let's do, this one was 10 by, what the height of my book? 7.5, because it's 5 by 7.5. So 2 times 5 is 10. So let's go like this. Before I cut it, I just want to lay it down to see if the width, oh, perfect. It's perfect. So I have to cut up here, and to make sure it's straight, I just, well, I could cut along that line, but I like to fold and cut and go like this. This is another extra bit, and it will sit like this. So where's that butterfly piece? Oh, I wanted this at the very back. Okay, well, we can just do this back piece, I guess, then. It's going to sit on the end like that. And how much is sticking off? Let's see. Wow, I lucked out. That's perfect. Okay, so let's place this down. It hangs over the edge, but the way I am going to display it, it's going to be fine. So I'm just tacking, and I can see this linen is a little warped. Okay, so let's just do 3 pins here, and 1 at the bottom. One at the top. Oopsie, where did my pin go? Looks like I'm running out of pins. Might have to, oh, I have a few more here. So I want this on the back page. I'm going to turn this right here. So if it's sitting on the back page, this is my first signature that's going to put up to that first line. The second signature, this is the third signature. It will be butted up. I just want to see what it looks like when it's laying down. Let me move it close to that line where I'm going to sew it. Okay, so the next piece is, let's put the bird here. because I have a piece of lace and I want this piece of lace sticking out in the middle. So that one, this bird can go here. And let's see, this is the halfway mark. Perfect. Let's just pin this baby in place. I'm going to switch him around. Pins. You see, I don't really worry about too much because my lace is dripping over the sides and I know it's covering it, so that's good. So I'm just putting pins in the front, but I'm looking at the back to make sure that the black is not being seen. And let's put 2 here and 1 and 2. Ouch. Turn this back. I just want to pin up here. Having felt pages is, for me, the absolute easiest to do. I've made all sorts of books. I love working with wool, and I used to work with cotton, but now I absolutely love wool. It's just, ouch, soft on my hands. I always prick myself with pins. So this is the halfway mark. That's the edge of the book. This is the last, the line, the last of the 3 lines. So it's going to lay like this, and 1 more line. So let's take this and let's find the 10. It's right there. Turn it over. Line it up. Line it up. Before I give it a cut, do I have enough fabric? Yes, I do. And, oops, double check this one. Oh, lots of room. Lots of room. Good. This is extra. Get rid of that. So this is my next page. That will be sitting like that. This house page will be sitting like that. Oh, I love that. This, where is this? This piece, which is not finished, but for me it's finished, so it's going in the book, will be like this. Let's get our pins. Ooh, I don't like short pins, as that one goes in the garbage. This is a long pin. And, okay, I have to turn this so I can see what I'm working on. What's that? A fluff. Oh, look at that. Let's get out of there. Fluff. Okay, so it's right to the edge. And I am 1. Oh, that's a teeny weeny guy. Oh, that's a longer one. It's no use saving things that you're never going to use. If they're good, save them. If they're not good, donate them. So off it goes into the donate pile. Donate. 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 And yep, that's a donate. So do we have any more pins? Oh, yep. Grandson was playing. That's a great toy for a 5-year-old to play with on Grandma's bed. Oh, well. Yep. At least he plays with it on a TV tray. He likes to stitch. He likes to play with these needles. And he likes to journal. Not journal, make books, make things. Okay, let's just tie this, not tie. Oh, that's a short one. Well, that's Sawyer's, so we'll just let Sawyer keep his pin. Grandma won't throw that one away. Okay, and let's pin. Oh, I didn't. Oh, silly. Silly Willy. Okay, let's see this. Let's pin that onto that. Sometimes my last book, the pages were really wonky. I don't know how the ladies are putting all of their pages into one journal. Mine are thick, so I have to do 2 journals for the first 6 months. Like I said before, I'm not participating in the, what the heck is this, Sawyer? Oh, here we are. In the winter Journal of Stitchery, I'm creating my own stitched pieces, and I'm going to do stitch play and just post them. You'll see on Stitch Play what I do. And I can create a Journal of Stitchery, just not a Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, right? I have so many other projects I want to finish, and that's why. Okay, this is done. So, so I have that one. This is folded in half. See, if I were to fold it right in half, I'd have a strip of black showing. I'm going to, you see how I moved it over that way? And I'm okay with that white showing. So it's going to be sitting like that in my book, And this one here is going to sit so you see a little bit of that as well. So with these, I only have 1, 2, 3 pieces of lace picked out. I need to, I'm at 37. 1, 2, 3. I have to pick out 3 more pieces of lace. So, is this my fancy pile? Let's move this over. I picked out these 3, so this might be in my other book. I just loved it so much. I love Battenberg. 1, 2, and I may or may not use that piece. Let's just fold that book up, and I'm looking for 6 pieces. So I've got 1, 2, I don't know how that's going to work in there. I'm going to keep this at the side, so I'm just going to rifle through these and see if there's any in here I'd like to. Oh, this is nice. So let's put them on my lap if I'm not going to use them. It's a full doily. This is beautiful. I can't cut this one. I'll make something with it as is. Some of these are really old, and I just don't want to cut them. This one here, it looks like I cut. I can use this guy. So 1, 2, 3. Switching this over here because I want to see if this is the same. I might have used this in my other book. Here, why don't I just have a look and see what I used? That would help, wouldn't it? Okay, so inside we have a 1. I know I don't, maybe I do have another piece of that. 2. Okay, there's that piece is definitely in there. That's the 3rd piece. Piece of Battenberg. Right here. Oh, there's that lovely long piece. And I have a really big piece there. Okay, so this piece. So I need 6 altogether. And so 1, 2, I'm going longest to narrowest or shortest. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'll stick with white or off-white. This is embroidered, so I'm just going to put this on my lap. I'm going to use that for something else. This is similar, the same. This is too much cotton. I like my see-throughs. Look, this is a brand new one. Looks old, doesn't it? But it's brand new. At least it had a Made in China sticker. Like that. I think that's very pretty. Beautiful. Love that. I could use one of these. That one's a little crunched. I'd have to iron it. So how many do I have here? Lost track. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 2 more. 5 is a contender, but is it... Oh, here's another one. Let's put this away. It's nice, but it's... Where's my other piece? I like keep them together. I'm going to say I want vintage pieces. So let's put these 2 aside. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need 2 more. Do I want to use the tatting? No, I can embroider on that. This is, oh my God, wow stuff. I don't know what this is called. It reminds me of hardanger. Maybe it is. I don't know. This is the smallest one. Let's see if I might be able to use that. This gets folded up. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. So 1 more piece. I won't use the linen. This is the large rectangle. That's beautiful embroidered. This is beautiful hardanger as well, but it's a rectangle. Rectangle. That'll be good in hand stitching. So I need 1 more piece I'm looking for. These are I have them biggest. Ooh, what's this? That's lovely. Is that too big to hang over? Oh, you know what? Let's just, oh my gosh, and look at this. Wow. Okay, so I have this piece. I wanted to pick out, oh, this is too long. I'm going to say doily pieces, and I don't want to cut that, so this one won't be used. I wanted to alternate the pieces that I did with embroidery with pieces that I just absolutely love and don't want to cut up. Boy, that feels strange. It feels like it's almost painted. Oh, look at this. This is lovely. That's another contender. So 1, 2. Oh my God, look at that. Okay, I can use that elsewhere. That's stunning too, but I think I'm going to use him elsewhere. I could use him in a stitched piece. Little, oops, what's that? Little guys. Beautiful. Oh, wow. That's stunning. Stunning, stunning. And these are a little bit too small. Nice, nice. Small, small. Bun warmer. Leave this here. Oh, that's that other piece. OMG. Oh, look at that. So let's put those 2. Okay, what do I have here? Let's put this away. These are the put away pieces. And what do I have? I need 6 pieces to stick in here. So there's that one. Okay, do I have that one? I have this one. Did I say I had that one? See, look at how bad my memory is. That one, piece of Battenberg, but I don't have that exact Battenberg, so I am going to use this Battenberg. Did I use this? No. I did use this piece, so that can go on the side. I have not used this. Yes, I used this exact one. Oh no, look at this. This one's a square. That's a square, and this is a oval. So yes, I can use that. 1, 2, 3. 3. What else do I have? This is unique. 4. Oh, I've got Battenberg, so I can put this Battenberg away. 4. 5. Oh, 4. I just threw that on there. This might be too big. 4. Let's take this again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need 2 more. 4. 4. Oh, why are you stuck? Well, you're stuck on a 4. That's gorgeous. 5. 6, or do I want to use this one? I think I will put that away. And so we have 6 pieces here to showcase in our book. Okay, so let's go open this book to the back. And the largest piece is let's just organize these. Largest to smallest. So this is the smallest. 1, 2. This will be narrower. So maybe this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this is smaller. 6. Okay, so if we flip it over, let's start again. The largest piece will go on here. So let's see. Wow. So when I sew these on, I'm going to sew these on first. So for me, it's this, how would I call it? You have a left side and a right side. So the right side will get sewn on, the right side, right side, right side, right side, and right side. So those will be sewn on first. Then, after that is all sewn on and there are no pins, I will pin this one on. And I'm just going to place it so you can see what it looks like. And this next one will be pinned on here. The flatter edge will be on the inside with the lacy bits on the outside, so it'll lay like this. Oh, I love how that looks. Next one, you see how long this is. In this book here, I pinned them, so like this one, for example, I pinned it so I just had the same amount sticking out, and then whatever hung over. And same with this, I lined up this edge, and then whatever went on the inside, and then it's just loose. That one was cut, that one was cut, that was cut, and this one was sewn on and then just left to dangle like that. Oh, shootamaroo, what did I do? Okay, so this must have been sitting like this. Okay, so that sits like that. So I would line up the black. The black goes from top to bottom, but I'm going to let it hang over just this little bit here. So it'll sit like this, and that way I can look at this beautiful piece and open it up, but it'll sit in the book when it's sewn like that. This next one. Okay, sit top, bottom, and I want, let's see how, there's this line on the pattern. I want to be able to anchor it in place like this, and then I can anchor it along here and then this little bit will be loose. So that's how that one will sit. This piece. Oh, that's the wrong side, so let's put it like this. Oh, I love that. If I had a choice between laying it like this, exactly right to the end, or stepping it back a bit, I like it stepped back. That's just my eyes, how I like it. So then when it's open, I would stitch around, and then this is loose, and it'll lay flat. So the edge of on this doily, the edge of the fabric will line up with the edge of this cut work, sitting down like this. And this first piece, and that's ripped, so I will have it maybe going around the bottom so you don't notice it as much. And the way that the design is, it's going to go centered top to bottom, but then I want to pull this maybe like that. No, I want these two lace. I want this whole cut circle to be off the black, so I want it to lay like that. And I would sew, maybe I would sew a big circle, and then I would sew, and when you catch it, you're sewing, where's the needle? With my white thread, I would sew, I'm tacking it, so it's invisible stitching. So I'm actually catching the doily and only the black felt. I'm not sewing through this other design on that other page. So that will sit like this. Oh, did I have anything? I was going to say, oh my gosh, I don't have a doily. No, I'm not going to have a doily. It's just going to sit like that. So this is my book on the inside, and you can see, look at how tall that is. That's quite thick. Yeah, 2 inches. So let's press it down. Try not to get pinned, poked by the pin. Ouch, 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 ouch. Okay, so it's going to sit like this. And because this has, I guess, a larger area, it's going to sit on my bookshelf like that. And this one will sit on top. So for me, I love how I can see all this lace dripping down, and I'll have other old vintage knickknacks here on the sides. So we need to create a nice spine for this book. So the inside of the book needs to be stitched in place. So this is what I have my pieces for the, it looks like maybe did I tack it in place? That's how long it's been since I've done this. 6 months ago. I can't even remember what I had last night for supper, never mind what I did 6 months ago. So it looks like a nice bouquet of flowers that way. So let me just hold it up for you. This is going to, what do I want to tell you? Right now, you know that this is actually glued. This inner spine is glued to the covers. I am going to stitch on the right side pieces, and then I'm going to, of all the pages, all 6 pages, then I'm going to stitch on the left side doilies to all of the pages. Then I'm going to take each of the 3, so there's 3 black pieces of felt, so there's 3 signatures, and I will be sewing each signature, like I said, This is the first signature. It will go on that first line because this line represents the cover of the book. Then there's 3 signature lines and the cover of the book. So the first signature line, I'm going to center it, lay it down, and just on that white upholstery fabric piece, I'm going to hand stitch it, a running stitch, in, out, in, out, in, out. And that'll be stitched on. I'll take this signature, lay it down, open it up, move this out of the way, hand stitch just on that white upholstery piece. In, out, in, out, in, out, with hand stitching. Then I'll take this last signature, line this black line up on here, like that, open it up, and hand stitch on that center part along this line, in, out, in, out, in, out. So once that is done, the inside of the book, the pages are sewn in, the signatures are sewn in to this interior spine, and then I do a hand-stitched piece like this, hand stitch it up, and then I am going to lay my hand stitched piece, and this piece, this outer piece of brown wool is the same height as that. So what is that? This piece here is like 4.5. What did I say? This one was 4. So how come? Okay, so it's just a 1/4 of an inch larger, 1/4 of an inch wider than this piece. So after I sew it up, and I'll be sewing it up maybe on camera, so you can see how I do that. And I'm centering it, top to bottom, looking to see how that is. Once this is all stitched up, I'm going to lay it down, and I designed this so that this beige, this lighter color of gray, lines up with my burgundy line. I just went like that, and I just wanted a little bit border all the way around, a little edging all the way around. And once this is all sewn, I, just like I did on the inside cover, put glue, that tacky glue, and lay it down, and it'll stick really well. And I'll do the same thing to the back. Put glue all the way over here and just lay this fabric down, and it'll stick really well. That way, these 2 pieces of this outer spine and the inner spine, they do have free movement, but when you have fabric on fabric, they don't move because both this inner spine is glued to the inner cover, and this outer spine is glued to the outer cover. So that's my book put together that needs to be hand stitched. This is a piece, a hand stitched piece, that I need to stitch on like this. I want to make it just as intricate as this piece here. There's going to be the fly stitch, the buttonhole stitch, the bullion knots. These had more bullion knots. And I just lay French knots, loose French knots. So I just layered that on top. So that's it for today on this video, how I compile my book to sew it. And when I come back, I will start hand stitching embroidering different things on here. So this is just a sample piece for me that I created just with the wool. This one has, so this piece here has a piece of patterned wool, and this piece is 7 inches wide by 4.5 inches tall. Then I have another piece of this light colored wool, and that light colored wool is about 5.5 by 3.5 inches. Then I have this small decorative doily on top, and then just this cut work piece of velvet trim. Okay, so I will end this video because it's long enough. It's just over an hour of how I put together the signatures for my book. The next video will be hand stitching this spine piece. Thank you everyone for watching, and bye for now.